The State Department of Housing has no capacity to absorb these funds. It's too much money that has been taken from workers forcibly. And the State Department has no capacity to absorb those funds. So these funds deducted from workers of Kenya are stashed in William Ruto's Sydian Bank that has exponentially grown to a level extraordinary. For instance, in the financial year 2022, deposits of this bank before Ruto bought it were only 25.4 billion. After he bought it in 2023, they increased by 9% to 27.6 billion, reflecting organic growth from the legacy retail and SME base. In 2024, William Ruto's deposits gotten forcibly from the Kenyan workers continued to accelerate and rose to 44 billion shillings, a jump of about 60.8% year on year as the bank began onboarding bigger institutional and government-linked accounts. In the 2025 financial year, the deposit base surged again by 6.29 to 63.0% to a whopping 72.3 billion, nearly tripling the ED 2023 level and leaving Sydian with roughly 1.8% of all the industry deposits, a shift largely attributed to a wave of new public sector deposit through conflict of interest and state capture. Even the county government of Nairobi have been forced to take their deposit to Sydian Bank. And by the way, Sydian Bank is on the third tier of the banking industry. The agreed policy of government is that all government funds should be put in tier 1. That is Absa, Equity, Cooperative Bank, Standard, Cooperative. And most of these are government banks, so you want government money to be put in government banks so that the profit can benefit the Kenyan people. William Ruto has directed that all funds are taken to his bank, Sydian. It's the worst act of conflict of interest and state capture witnessed in the history of independent Kenya. And the victim, the Kenyan worker. And then the man who is supposed to fight for the workers is dancing happily before the oppressor, singing songs of praise, and the choir master or the praise and worship team of the king. Oh, you wonderful man. You've done so well for the Kenyan workers. We are so happy, we don't know what we could do without you. Never mind, you have deducted everything from us, we still love you. You are the best president ever, and you must get another term. We don't want to imagine how Kenya would be without you. The Kenyan workers love you. They may be crying here and there, but the love for you is undoubted. This level of sycophancy and praise worship is what the workers of Kenya must deal with very decisively. The consequences of financial misadventure on the Kenyan worker are immediate and painfully familiar. Families miss rent payments. Children are sent home from school for unpaid fees. Families have no meals on their table, while households delay or forego medical treatment because there is no money. Patriotic Kenyans, the affordable housing levy shows how a government can take from people without giving them what was promised. Since its inception in July 2023, the scheme has drawn significant resources from the public. There are real resources painfully raised from teachers, nurses, drivers, and other workers. For contributors, however, the levy often feels like just another automatic deduction. Money taken from payslips with no clear guarantee of a home, no clear timeline, and little feasible accountability. Similarly, the Minister, infamously known as the Social Health Authority, SHA, was sold to Kenyans as a path to universal health care. By August 2025, hospitals across this country had submitted claims totaling 98 billion Kenyan shillings. When you add the 33 billion uncleared arrears inherited from NHIF, the total debt is astronomical. And these failures are not restricted to our healthcare, but they have been infected our education and higher education systems as well. Public universities are carrying debts estimated between 67.8 billion to 72.4 billion Kenya shillings as of mid-2025. The new and failed higher educational funding model has disrupted access for more than 100,000 university students and left institutions with cash flow gaps. Students in our universities face uncertain times. Voices from our students and lecturers show that majority of students are going without a meal. The consequence is a cyclical industry action, strikes that interrupted learning, and a future workforce whose training and prospects are uncertain. A future workforce whose formation is being disrupted year after year by the same failures. We cannot discuss workers without addressing the informal sector. About 4 out of 5 workers earn their living in the informal economy. Informal work absorbs nearly all new jobs created annually, accounting for about 86% of new opportunities. It is the backbone of our everyday life. Take border riders, for instance. 2 million of them keep our cities moving and supporting shops, markets, and deliveries, generating roughly 660 billion Kenya shillings a year, about 4.4% of the GDP. Yet their work remains risky. It is just the first quarter of 2025. There were 431 reported deaths and 5,856 serious injuries from motorcycle crashes, roughly 5 lives lost every day, imposing about Kenya shillings 50 billion a year in medical and family costs. Likewise, Uber, Bolt, Wasili, Faraz, Taxify, Little Cab drivers face their own challenges. Platforms take 20 to 25% in commissions. Many net under 100 shillings an hour off peak, despite 10 to 14 hours shifts, and a single unexplained deactivation can wipe out a family's income overnight. We have a world of a system that extracts the maximum amount of labor from a person while giving them the minimum power to protect themselves. This unfair pay is a modern day slavery. This is a system that causes children to miss school, workers failing to afford treatment, and families failing into debt. There must be justice for up workers. For instance, Uber alone has reported over 130,000 drivers in Nairobi and more than 1 million riders annually, underscoring the density and economic importance of the platform ecosystem within a single metropolitan area. Our private sector is under pressure too. Small and medium enterprise remains fragile. For instance, the private security industry, which employs more than 1.3 million guards through the 789 licensed security firms, face structural risks from proposals to substitute their services with National Youth Service personnel, a change that could displace thousands of workers and destabilize the entire sector without a clear transition plan. Patriotic Kenyans and workers, and there is labor migration, the job Maju phenomenon. The government tells us that between 300 and 500 Kenyans leave Kenya each week seeking work abroad. That is 15,600, 26,000 annually. Of course, you all know is a lie. That kind of movement at the airport would have been noticed by everybody. This is another mirage. This is driven by a youth unemployment rate of 35% and a domestic economy that cannot absorb nearly 1 million new entrants each year. But what jobs do they go to do in these countries? The Kenyan workers in the Middle East are going through modern day slavery. They are distressed. They are abused. They are persecuted. They are dehumanized. Kenyans are being conscripted into Russian and Ukraine military without their consent. To date, we have thousands of Kenyans unaccounted for, others in dangerous war zone and indecent work as the Ruto regime demands that Kenyans clap their hands for them. Many Kenyans have lost their lives in the Russian war. Many parents are in anguish. They don't know where their children are. And we have a government that doesn't care. If any Kenyan must be taken to work anywhere in the world, let it be decent. Work with equal pay for equal work done. I want to assure the Kenyan worker and every Kenyan that we are in an unstoppable journey to bring back better our nation. We are on a course to restore the dignity of the Kenyan payslip and the Kenyan worker. Our workers must be happy again. Every Kenyan worker, and every Kenyan for that matter, deserves dignity and honor. Every Kenyan deserves to live a good life.